Hi, guys. Today it is Friday, the 19th of January, 2024. And there's cold weather in some places and colder in other areas. And some areas are now experiencing a sort of a winter storm. But I'm here in Florida and it's nice and warm and it's all good. I thought I would give you a word today from Psalm 127:1. Unless the Lord builds a house, the builder labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the watchmen stand guard in vain. You rise, in vain you rise early and stay up late, toiling for food to eat, for he grants sleep to those he loves. But again, unless the Lord builds a house, its builders labor in vain. That means all the labor and all the things you're doing, if you're doing it without allowing God to be a part of that, then you're really building it in vain. And so he tells you here in Psalm 127, and he tells you the same thing: the watchmen stand guard in vain unless the Lord watches over that city. So when we're not walking with God and we think we are, the watchmen can guard, no, they cannot. Because the Bible says in Psalm 127:1, the watchmen stand guard in vain. In vain you rise early and stay up late, toiling for food to eat, for he grants sleep to those he loves. But one of the great things about God is everybody gets 24 hours of each day and nobody gets any more. So you can divvy that 24 hours whichever way you want it. And then we can only eat so much, we can only wear so much. And so it's just amazing that he grants us all the equal amount. The sun shines on the just and on the unjust. And so again, that was Psalm 127:1. So let us build with him because we're going to build in vain. It's going to come crashing down sooner or later. Another great one is whatsoever a man sows, that shall he also reap. And so if you sow bad seeds, you're going to reap bad seeds. You're going to get a harvest of bad seeds. So it's always best to sow good seeds because your harvest will be what you have sown. In another area in the Bible, he tells us, with the measure we measure, the same shall be measured to us. And, those spiritual laws are in place. They're in place like gravity. So whether you see it or believe it, it works. You just have to climb on your roof and jump. You're not going to bounce up in the air. You're going to jump down. Gravity pulls you down. So knowing spiritual laws exist, we were not left without laws in place. And you can always count on those laws that they're going to materialize. And so one of them is sowing and reaping. That harvest always comes. And I wanted to touch on one other situation that's facing our country, and that is the immigration situation. And I'm wondering, and hope that you will put this in the comment exactly what you think. When people are refugees, they're not in a financial position to go into embassies and to barter and to go through those interviews and to come up with the required amount of monies to pay for those visas. So, what exactly are refugees supposed to do? Because they're refugees, they're running for refuge, and so they have nothing. So, should we cut down on the quota for refugees without saying they're not refugees? We can't say they're illegal immigrants, they're refugees. And if you look at the stories of refugees throughout the world, they do suffer a lot. So when they're turned back to the place that they're running from, it's really very extremely difficult. And so, is there a better way? Is there another way we can handle the refugees? And I'm showing at this time that the Democratic Party has been handling it in a way that shows humanity. We're humans. We take care of our dogs. We take care of our cats. How then can we turn our backs completely on refugees coming into our country? And then we're a country of immigrants. We all came from some of the source, some of the place. And America seems to be the number one desired place from all the surrounding nations. So, again, tell me your views on what you think refugees are, because it's an entirely different status from regular immigration. And so I think there should be different policies, different guidelines, one that speaks to the refugee situation and one that speaks to the regular immigration situations. But we can't turn our back on the people running, starving. Even in the areas that they come through, there is no wells, there are no pipes, there are no water. Again, for the sake of humanity, we should have water along the way before they get interviewed, before they get arrested and given a date to return back to court under the refugee status. But there should be at least water, wells along the deserted areas coming into America, because it comes back again, sowing and reaping. And anything could happen to us in America at any time. We could be in a similar position. So let's put some water for the refugees on the deserted areas. They can't drink salt water, they can only carry so much water on their travels. And others who feel the same way, just, you know, tell me in the comment line exactly what you think. On another note, again, this concerns Israel and the situation facing them. Israel is still in a war with Hamas, still fighting in the Gaza, still having to have confrontations too with Hezbollah, which is which we're told allegedly that it's sponsored by Iran. Iran, we're being told in the news, has been attacking Pakistan, and from the start of this last situation with Israel, we're told it's like 150 missiles that has been fired into the Holy Land. And again, we keep asking Israel to maybe stand down. We keep asking Israel to do more targeted output of what weapons they're using. But then we don't ask the same of other countries. We don't ask the same of ourselves. When we were fighting in Iraq and taking out Saddam Hussein, we targeted him, but a lot of people still died. The same thing in Kuwait, same thing in Vietnam, same thing with Japan. And we're not asking Ukraine to do this. We've seen over 500,000 that have lost their lives. And another 500,000 would lose their lives. We've seen that Russia has recruited mercenaries from Turkey and other countries. And I don't know if the US is doing the same, but there are always people dying. So what has it accomplished? Has it accomplished what the governments wanted? Because if you have killed over 500,000 people and have not had the desired results, then what are you fighting for? And we speak of Putin, and Putin is going to be taken out. But Putin is not a one man's band. Putin is a part of a country represented also by a group of people. The way Israel has their defense team, there's a defense team. So taking out Putin would not accomplish anything, because his defense team would continue to do what he's doing or what he has been instructed to do by his people. So it's not a one man band. We keep speaking of everything like it's a one man band. We talk about Biden. Biden is not doing anything. He's with a group as well, an administration that determines what happens and what he does. So it's not a one man band. So let's stop blaming the person who represents that particular group of people. It's not Biden. And the same with Israel. It's not Benjamin Netanyahu. He only represents a group of people, and he's placed in that headship, but he has no power. The leaders we appoint have no power by themselves. It's a team of people working together, getting the desired request of the people that have put them in power, or the administrations, or the shadow governments that they have behind them. And today, again, I saw in Drudge Report where they are making a reference to to Trump, and this is what they're saying: Trump is already been accepted by the elite as the current president, although the elections have not yet been won. And it says here that Alex Soros says a Trump win is a done deal for the Davis elite, but they're always wrong. The prospect of the Republican frontrunner winning a second term in the White House has been a hot topic at the gathering of the political and business leaders in Switzerland this week. Despite Trump's litany of legal woes, many U.S. business executives still believe he will beat President Joe Biden should the two contest in the 2024 race. In Davos, Donald Trump is already the president. Open Society Foundation's chairman, Alex Soros, told a panel in the World Economic Forum on Friday. That's a good thing because the Davos consensus is always wrong, he said. So we're going to wait and see whether Trump becomes the front runner to gain the Republican nomination in this upcoming election. And so it's been a hot topic at the gathering of political and business leaders in Switzerland this week. But again, if the person we put in power has no power to make certain decisions, to change and do things, then again, it is a waste of time and it is totally in vain. We need to have leaders that have some power to make decisions and to get those things done without any interruptions. And it takes us back to the Bible that says, the builder who builds without God builds in vain. So if we're going to build with God, then we're building a strong foundation, a firm foundation. So let's get to building with God because nothing else will survive if we build without Him. Okay, and that's it for today. This is Debbie, and I will do some more Bible reading and we will touch on one or two other topics of interest. My views are my own views, and I'm just giving, my own views on the news. And so we're all blessed. We're here to have another 24 hours and another 24 hours, a continuous feast of living in the land of the living. So bye. I'll talk with you tomorrow. Have a great day. Peace.